You're listening to the world famous White Roof Radio, webcast number 656, recorded June 18th, 2019. Brought to you, as always, by our buddies over at cravenspeed.com, motoringstripes.com, and outmotoring.com. Mini performance, speed, and style. It's outmotoring.com.
What are we going to do when we get to episode 666?
Yeah, we'll skip it and do 667. I just don't want it.
Halloween show.
We'll bring in the devil.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to what? Wait, hang on. Let me start that over. Nope. What did I do wrong? I don't remember how to start this damn show. Hey, everybody. Hey everybody, it's your old pal DB. We're bringing in another episode of White Roof Radio, show number 4 in 2019. I know, we're really on fire. We've got a lot of things going on, but we're not going to talk about any of that.
Limited edition.
Yeah, we're limited.
Yeah, this is now the limited edition White Roof Radio.
Of course, you heard our good pal Todd Pearson. He's with us tonight, as is Mr. Bridger from MotoringFile.com, as is Mr. Chad Miller, the good Reverend from DetroitTune.com. Gentlemen.
Yes.
Hello.
And if you're hearing this...
Wait. Proper introduction here.
Oh. I gave you a proper introduction. What was
that? Is that a can of beer?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
No, that was for the can of beer.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was a can of beer.
Okay.
That wasn't a beer. That was what's the hipster water that people are drinking now? LaCroix. That was LaCroix.
No. I drank a LaCroix just now. This is a New Glarus Moon Man.
There you go. I should talk. I got a case of lime LaCroix upstairs.
Yeah, I do the store brand LaCroix. We're not talking about LaCroix though. Gabe's got a hard stop here in a little bit, so we're just talking about Mini Cooper stuff tonight, like we like to do. If you're a patron, there's a new episode of Black Roof Radio waiting for you now. Go over there and check that out. If you're not a patron, patreon.com/White Roof Radio. You can sign up.
And if you're playing the home improvement, really want to give some money. Listen to this week's show.
Yes.
If you would like to know how to sand some floors and refinish them, call me.
Or if you want to know how much money I spend at Home Depot every month since I bought a new house, call me. If you want to know how to repair a tornado damage to your house in Kansas, call Todd.
Hold on.
You know, they don't give you the 400 for free, just so you know.
Making a note here. Buy Home Depot stock. Okay.
Yeah. Good grief. We're not going to talk about any of that, though. No, for reals. Gabe, this is your last show.
Yeah, we're here to talk about
mini stuff.
Minis?
Yes.
Mini stuff.
Yes, that's exactly what we're going to do. We've got news from MotoringFile. I'm probably going to bitch about the automatic transmission. Todd's going to complain about not having many minis to stripe. Chad's going to talk about putting exhaust in Audis. No, probably not. But maybe. We got all that.
Maybe.
Plus who knows what's going to happen here in just a minute. Before we get started, let's remind you guys about one of the fine sponsors here underneath the White Roof, our boys over at Cravenspeed, cravenspeed.com, home of the Gemini phone mounts. If you open up cravenspeed.com, you will see nothing but Gemini phone mounts. And this is an amazing piece of technology. If you don't have a Gemini phone mount in your car, I must ask, why not? This is the best way to mount your phone. I don't care what phone you have. You have an iPhone, you have an Android phone, doesn't matter. You're going to get one of these Cravenspeed mounts. And you know why you're going to get it?
What if I have a Sony Ericsson P910?
Well, call Kellen. He'll make something special just for you. And honestly, Gabe, you don't still have that Sony Ericsson P910, do you?
I actually do.
I have a BlackBerry in a box somewhere. But they have a mount. They have a mount for you because they actually do the magnetic mounts now. So you can put a little magnet behind a case and stick anything there. You could even put a Garmin nav on one of the Gemini phone mounts.
Yep.
See, they're awesome. No, it's even awesomer is you guys have a Mini. So yeah, it's awesome for your Mini. But you know what else? They make them for like almost every car now. Go over there and pick your car. This is the best way to put a phone in your car. If you have a Mini and you don't care about the other car stuff, that's fine. Because besides the Gemini phone mount, they do all kinds of really cool stuff. Of course, one of our favorites is the short shift kit. You got to get that. And I think they make it for all Minis now. Really awesome. If you're still rocking an R53 and you haven't put a pulley on that car yet, you're going to get a Cravenspeed pulley because that's the one you want. And it's going to give you a 300 horsepower boost. Plus, they give you cool decals. They give you another 5 horsepower. It's awesome.
The 300.
At least 300. But all kinds of things for all kinds of minis. Go over there, check it all out, cravenspeed.com. And then when you go to place an order, the cool tip is you can leave a comment on the order form. And what you want to do is you want to say, thanks for supporting White Roof Radio. We appreciate that. So do they. They, of course, being our friends at Cravenspeed. Cravenspeed.com.
Ooh.
I think somewhere we've got news music. I know it sounds like
I've been asked so many times over the last month, do you guys still do that White Roof Radio thing?
Yeah.
I'm like,
you should look at them and say, every morning.
Yeah. Where have you been?
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so what are we going to start with? I mean, I'm going to start because this is just really small. Is I figured out how to drive the automatic transmission in a 2013 Cooper S Roadster.
DB finally learned to drive an automatic.
I finally learned how to drive an automatic. If you go back a couple of episodes, I finally learned how to drive the automatic. And the trick in driving the automatic on the second generation Mini, which just is a horrible, horrible transmission to begin with, is you just have to put it in manual mode. And then do it yourself. And even then it sucks.
The irony is the same transmission that's in the current car, the current Cooper, previous Cooper.
The same transmission, but different
software.
Different software.
Yeah.
The software on this car is horrific.
Yeah.
And
it's not good.
And I only wanted to do one thing. And this is a simple request. And if there's somebody out there, maybe Marzo could code it up for me.
Can I guess?
You can guess, Gabe.
Serve you breakfast.
No.
Is that not?
That's not it. No. I want to double tap the shifter up to downshift, and I want it to skip a gear. So, like, if I'm in fourth and I double tap it, I want it to go to second.
Well, you know the new.
That's what I wanted to do.
What you do is if you want to.
I don't have paddles.
So that didn't start till 13.
What's that?
You just hold down; it'll auto select. If you hold,
lowest,
it'll auto select the lowest gear you can go into.
Yeah, mine won't do that. I've tried that too.
And it's funny, even on the.
But I also don't have paddles on my car. So,
can I tell you guys what the F56 does in a manual transmission car? And Gabe, you should try this sometime. You've got a manual now? No, you've got an automatic. What are you driving, Gabe?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Manual.
It's a manual. Okay, here's something fun to try. Leave the rev matching on, and try and downshift before the, at a high speed. Like say from fourth to third, but prepare yourself for a surprise.
What does it do? I want to know.
The car it puts the brakes on. It slows down so it doesn't over rev the engine.
Does it really?
Does it also?
It does it in a dramatic fashion, and I mean dramatic.
Can we pause for a second, Todd? How do you know?
It doesn't.
Is that your car calling you to tell you to stop talking?
No, that was my phone. Sorry.
In a dramatic, I'm talking like.
How do you know though? Did you? I'm sorry. Did you fuck up?
I was a little overzealous in downshifting.
I think it's important that we admit these things.
I'm thinking, back in the old days, you used to use engine braking, and you're like, screw red line, whoa. Okay, so this happens, and the car doesn't like to do that. So instead, it slams on.
It doesn't just. So you're not saying it doesn't apply brakes, Todd. It sounds to me like you're saying it slams on the brakes to reduce the speed as quickly as possible of the car.
Correct.
Yeah,
so then it doesn't over rev the engine when you go into the next gear, and it's an exciting.
Let's be honest, it was pissed at you.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I apologized at the time. I'm like, I'm sorry.
You win. I just want the double tap to go down to skip a gear. That's all I want. Just double tap, but it doesn't do that, and that's fine. Whatever. But I finally learned it, and you just got to drive it in manual mode, and everything's fine. I'm gonna start doing fuel mileage testing next to see if I get any better. I think I am, but whatever. Yeah, Gabe, what do you got? Gabe, what is what's the current company car? Let's get caught up here because we haven't talked in a while.
It's almost been a year now. This is I've got a JCW Countryman.
That's right.
It is Rebel Green with no sunroof. This is the GP package, if you will.
Okay.
No sunroof, manual seats, yada yada yada, and I love it. I mean, I love it. The best and worst part of the car is the manual transmission.
The best and worst? What's worst about it?
Well, it's the worst manual transmission Mini has offered since the R50 Cooper. Let that sink in for a second.
Wait, it's the same.
That was a good transmission in the R50 Cooper, kind of.
No, exactly, because every other transmission Mini's ever offered has been a variation of a Getrag. It's a Getrag.
Okay.
And so this is the first because
I had the
Getrag does not. Mini did not engineer. Long story short, Aisin engineered the transmission aspect of the B48 231 horsepower engine and the 306 horsepower engine.
Okay, hang on. Gabe, I got to stop you there. I don't know. You're talking nerd that I'm not understanding. So what's a B48?
That's the JCW engine.
Thank you, sir.
Of the F series.
Right, there you go.
Thank you.
So they basically all right, Mini contracted them to engineer the transmission for that engine. Then Mini/BMW sort of finalized it. That was sort of a package they bought, if you will. So long story short, they don't have the Mini JCW, Countryman, and Clubman are the only Minis sold that do not have a Getrag manual transmission. Very secretly, they actually have an Aisin manual transmission, a Japanese manual transmission. That manual transmission, if you hadn't driven a Getrag, you would be like, hey, this is okay. However, if you've driven anything modern, you'd be like, hey, why is that first to second so long? Hey, is this thing kind of notchy? And wait a second, after like 10,000 miles, is this thing entirely canted to the left? These are things that you learn after you drive the car for a long time. And so, is it better than an automatic? I mean, better's relative, of course. Do you enjoy it more? I kind of do. I mean, the new automatics are so good, but I kind of do enjoy it more. Is it as good as the manual that I had in my, 2005 Cooper S? No, not really. I mean, I will say the clutch is super light and everything's judged well. Light's not good necessarily, but it's all judged well. But it's just not a great experience. And so, try to heel to toe shift in this thing with that rev matching turned off. I mean, it's just simply like awkward. And so, but the irony is this transmission has been seen in both a Camry. Manual transmission Camry, extremely rare. They don't offer them anymore.
Nope.
And a Lotus Evora, which had the same exact transmission. In fact, I theorized the whole thing is canted to the right because it was primarily designed for right-hand drive cars from Japan and England. There, I'm gonna get off my soapbox now.
Okay.
But it is a weird, sort of bizarro transmission Mini offers, and as you guys know, we can talk about it in a second. It is also the last manual transmission you will see in the JCW Countryman and Club.
Right.
And so, which brings me to my next question: is that yes, the JCW is going to automatic, and that's because they're going 300 horsepower.
Well, only in the just to make sure our readers are following.
Right.
In the Clubman and Countryman,
right,
they're doing that
as of now.
And
listeners, people don't read podcasts, Gabe. They listen.
Wait. Really?
Yeah. It's a thing.
So anyway,
wait. Is this a shuttlecast? Am I on the wrong show?
Not yet.
Okay.
So which brings me to my next question. So the JCW Countryman and Clubman are coming out in July. At least they're starting production, I guess. They'll be at dealers soon after that. Automatic only, but the JCW hardtop is going to remain 228 horsepower. Still get a manual transmission in it on the market. So here's my big question, Gabe. What have you heard? Yep. Is the hardtop, and we know the GP is coming, the GP3 is coming with 300 plus horsepower also, still going to be front wheel drive. We also hear it's going to be an automatic transmission.
Yep.
But my next question is, will this 300 plus horsepower capability filter down to the regular JCW hardtop and win?
No. And never.
That's what I heard also, and I said, When I was told this, I said, "This is the last Mini I will own." I'm sorry, I've been a loyal customer for like 17 years, and you've lost me as a customer. Because
why did they lose you?
Because I won't be able to get unless I want a G. And they're like, "Well, get a GP," and I'm like, "It's a limited production. It's not a regular."
Dude,
production.
You're gonna get a GP. Just knock it off.
Why would that be a bad deal? Like what they're saying is, listen, we're the JCW Clubman and Countryman. Because of the engineering involved and the quantities we sell, we cannot afford to create a manual transmission for this car. It's just like not economically feasible. We're going to make the
I'm not
automatic
talking
awesome.
manual. Yeah. I'm not talking manual transmission. Are they going to, they're never going to make a 300 horsepower hardtop JCW. That's what I'm saying.
Well, not in this generation. I mean, you know, the reality is, you know, past this generation, I don't know what I don't see, unless there's a second LCI, which I've theorized there could be, there will be no upgraded horsepower for the JCW hardtop, and it will remain manual and automatic.
You might as well put a knife in them then, because the hardtop is like one of the best selling JCWs in the United States right now. It outsells both the Clubman and the Countryman, and ask anybody. And
does it?
If I'm wrong, I want Pat McKenna to send me a text.
Well, I could probably find out. I mean, in all seriousness, I'm just curious. I think that I would be fascinated on the answer. I actually don't have an opinion on that.
I'll tell you something, Gabe, and this is just from what I know here in Kansas City, that for many months out of the year, 30% of the total cars sold at my dealership are JCW hardtops.
Wow.
I'm going to tell you a little secret as well, Todd. Tonight I had Kansas City hot sauce on my barbecue. I'm throwing that out there right now.
Gabe's trying to change the subject from like Todd is no longer going to buy another Mini.
No. I'm joking, but in all seriousness, it was the right choice. It was the spiciest. I felt like it made more sense. It had an analog.
Was it Joe's? Was it Joe's?
No. It was a local place. But no, in all seriousness, though, I don't get it. Like, why is that? Why?
Because I don't want to
offering automatic only. Well, why would you need it?
No. I don't care. I don't care if it's an automatic. I want a 300 horsepower
hardtop
JCW that's not a GP.
Yeah. Why do you not want a GP?
I'm not saying I don't want a GP.
But Todd, say creature comforts.
Yeah.
You want a car that's
gonna have everything.
I think the GP is going to be loaded. I think
GP is going to have a nav. It's going to be everything you want.
It'll be loaded and it'll be fine. But then my attitude would be that'd be the last. Then that would be the last Mini I ever own.
Yeah, until they make another GP.
How's that?
But so that may be true, Todd. I mean, I think the reality is the entire industry is undergoing unknown, and this is the key, unknown transitions. So BMW and Mini, like they don't really know how many people are going to buy this electric Mini, for instance, which we should talk about in a second.
Yeah.
And they don't really know, like how to plan for 2030. They have a guess, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to create cars that can accommodate, petrol, hybrid, and electric. And hopefully...
And maybe even hydrogen, because they're trying to do hydrogen in California right now. Not successfully, but they're trying to do it. That's another story for the Shellcast.
That's the hydrogen cast.
We
can talk about that later. But in all seriousness, though, here's the problem. Here's the meta issue that we don't talk about. I've written about it on MotoringFile for a while. The amount of money that BMW and other automakers are spending to bring electric vehicles to market, hybrid vehicles to market, and this is key, engineer a single platform to accommodate all three of those different types of engines is basically, I'm going to use a great term here, neutering the next generation of cars. That's my hypothesis. And when I say neutering, I mean my problem. They are spending so much money on these that you're creating a chassis that is not optimized for the things that you, Todd, want in a car.
I get it, but here's my problem as it relates just to this. I agree with you on a meta level, okay? But here's my problem as it relates to this. They've already done the R&D. They've got the technology because they're be producing the GP. Just make it as a regular JCW with, whatever, fewer options or whatever. Put the same engine in it. What is the problem? It's done.
Here's the problem.
And put it on the market. It's done. There's no R&D involved needed.
So I think that's great. I mean, I think number one, they try, they're gonna try to protect residuals of the GP. So that's the first problem. The second problem is if this is a car, let's say the JCW, let's say the F56 is going to be on sale. Honestly, it's kind of it's a wormhole here. Because you could argue that the F56 right now, Mini is looking at a couple different scenarios. One of them is that it's literally on sale for another 5 years.
Yeah.
because the transition period, they're not sure what's going to happen from electric to whatever else.
Well, so my scenario make as much money as you can over the next 5 years.
Yeah, they will.
All the
I
money.
guarantee you.
All the money.
If they do, and so that's the thing. If they cut it at like 2022, and they replace it with a new Mini, and that Mini is able to accommodate gasoline, electric, hybrid, all the things I mentioned, then I don't think you're going to see the 300 horsepower Mini. If they decide, listen, guys, we're going to go all in on electric Mini, that's going to be what comes out in 2022, and they're going to produce the current generation for like another 5 to 7 years, depending on consumer interest. Well, I will guarantee you that car is going to have 300 horsepower at some point in a normal Cooper S. I think that's the thing. They're trying to figure out,
right,
what their strategy is in terms of this next car and where the current car aligns with that and where it goes away, where it sticks around. And so, yeah, as a fan, are you kidding me? I mean, of course I want them to have 300 horsepower. Absolutely. And put a manual transmission, a Getrag for that matter, put it in there. That's what we all want. That's what I want.
Well, because I'll tell you right,
all-wheel drive. Put the engine in the back, for God's sake.
Well,
bring it on.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie. Right now, my JCW, I've got a Dynon Elite tune in it, which is pushing the upper twos right now.
Yeah.
There
you go. I mean, you've got the car you want.
I've got it, and it's manual transmission, and I love it. And like I said, that makes me want to go. If I don't end up getting a GP, who knows? If I don't end up getting a GP, I may have to hang on to this one. Because
let's talk about this for a second, because I think this is where we've got 3 topics.
But you know what, fellas, I'm just going to kind of stop you here, because none of this really makes a difference, because the car is still more money than anybody's going to spend any money on, because nobody can afford the car.
I think DB, you've got another valid point.
Well, let's pull back for a second. Let's put a pin in that. This is that's a cliffhanger, DB, and we're going to come back to it.
Okay.
Let's first.
Good, because I'm still trying to find my notes on that.
I know. Let's go back to where this started, the last bit of news, because let's start with the new JCW Countryman Clubman. We haven't given them their due. So, as this is what I like to say, as reported on MotoringFile for the past 5-6 years, the JCW Countryman and Clubman are getting a new version of the B48 engine that produces 301 or 306 brake horsepower, depending on how you look at it. 300 horsepower in a Mini. They will be all-wheel drive. They will be automatic only. It's the 8-speed ACEN automatic. Excellent automatic. Almost as good as the ZF and BMWs. 300 horsepower. I've driven this car.
And no one...
BMW X2 form.
Yep.
And I can tell you, it is a different level of speed compared to any Mini you've ever driven.
And here's where DB enters the conversation, and no one will buy it.
No one will buy it.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, JCW Countrymen are fairly well stocked and sold in Chicago. I see them all the time. So I mean, I believe that 300 horsepower changes the game.
Since they've been on sale here, I bet they've sold 6 total. And that's a year and a half, maybe 2 years.
I think it's a different. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's clearly a different kind of car. It's an expensive car, but in certain markets, I think they do pretty well. And
I don't know.
Think about
Gabe, you're right.
Going from also 228 horsepower to 301.
Oh,
and
no.
so let's think about the price. The price, when you consider what else is on the market, add $4,500 to it. It's still below anything else out there that's of a sort of European design quality sort of equation.
Because there's no
price performance.
There's no question that one of the best-selling cars on the market is the performance-based SUV and crossover right now.
Yep.
They're doing very well in all brands have. I mean, I'm talking everything from a Porsche to everybody's got one. I mean, Maserati.
So the reality is we don't know.
Even has an SUV now.
Yeah, so we don't know. Who knows what they're going to sell? Good, bad, I don't know. Point is, ladies and gentlemen, we have a 300 horsepower Mini. It's the first time we've ever had one. This is a big deal. It's a big moment. Very exciting. 301 horsepower, 331 foot-pound of torque in a Mini. And again, I can tell you, that thing snaps your neck. I mean, it's fast. So pretty exciting, in my opinion.
I get it, but I want more than a fast car. I want 2 doors.
Well, you want less of a car then.
I want less of a car.
All right. So let's move on.
I want a car that's priced closer to my salary.
Well, that's a different kind of conversation.
Right.
I think the reality is we've got cars. You can't buy as much today as you could 20 years ago, and that's a different conversation.
Yeah,
and it's one we should talk about. But
yeah,
I want to keep rolling. But that's the truth.
Yeah, I think there's.
Go ahead, Chad.
When you're talking about your European cars, yes, a lot of us like it, but there's this huge let's do everything American movement right now that is, kind of a threat to some of that, as well as look at how many mini dealers have actually closed in this year.
Right.
That is 5%. Huge. So
a handful.
Right. And, is that because the cars are too expensive or because the cars aren't doing what they should, or let's all be American backlash? I mean, there's a lot of things playing into that,
everybody's buying this.
I mean, it's tricky. The buy American thing I felt like is not as prevalent as it used to be. But at the same time, what's American? Point at any GM product. And
I agree. I agree.
Percentage of
my dad
know that.
My dad tries to make that argument with me with his Chevy Equinox, and I go, "Dude, shut up! That car was built in Mexico."
Right. 30. I'm going to tell you guys something.
Or Canada, or one of those.
33% of cars sold in the United States last year in 2018.
Yeah.
33% of the cars sold in the United States came out of Mexico.
Yeah.
Were built in Mexico.
All right. So
anyway.
Okay. Beyond that, I'm going to move on because it's all good stuff. But I want to say, prepping for the GP conversation, I actually drove, Todd, appreciate this, a extremely low mileage JCW GP, R53 GP, very recently. And I got to say, man, holy shit, that thing is slow.
But it's the funnest slow car.
You wait for it. You wait for it. I mean, it's also the best. I mean, I get in the thing and immediately and I've had so many R53s, R50s, whatever, and I grip the door and it's like, oh man, I missed this car. I get in and I haven't sat in one for years. I get in,
turn the key. You had to turn the key in that car.
Well,
it's like an old girlfriend.
Wait a second. The sight lines, the visibility in this car is a little bit better than the new cars. You're slightly more upright, maybe, or everything is a little bit more upright, and the geometry is slightly different.
Yep.
And it's like being reacquainted with, I'll say, Chad, an old friend, not to go to a different place. And I think that what I was immediately sort of struck by was, really how poor the quality of the interior was, but how beautifully designed it was. How thoughtfully designed with minimal cost, minimal resources they were given, how they were able to craft an interior that actually had personality. And I mean, listen, I'm not talking about the new minis. I'm not saying they're good, bad, whatever. I'm just saying this car, the R53 GP, has a ton of personality, and the R53 just in general did. And so, great. So turn the key, starts up. Wow, that engine, I mean, very different than what you have today. It's not direct injected, so it's still a little different. And then I took off. And that's where the holy shit, it's slow thing kind of hit me. You forget in this era of turbocharged engines that there was a time where 90% of the torque wasn't available at 500 RPM. There was this little there was this buildup. And it's not immediately fast. And there's this drama to it. But that's the thing. There was this drama to the build of that engine and the sound of the supercharger. And then ultimately with the GP, I mean, the sound deadening has been taken out. Everything is so sort of closer to your brain. The tactile response of the steering and your fingertips, everything just feels great, alive, amazing. Would I want to commute in the thing every single day? Maybe if it was 5 miles, like your old commute was, but I think
then it got old, and that's really why I chose to upgrade. It's I love this car. I put over 100,000 miles on, total.
But how great, to me, that is a badge of honor to be able to say I put 100,000 miles on this car, because every single mile is one of those miles that like you were actually participating in driving. You were involved in the process.
Can I tell you the coolest thing? My coolest GP story, and then we can move on to the next topic. My coolest GP story is that Mini Takes the State 2006. I bought my GP in California, drove across country, and Gabe, you were here. In fact, I think you were in the car with me when this happened. We were at Indianapolis, and we got to drive the Motor Speedway there.
Yep.
And we crossed the finish line first. We were the first car to cross the bricks at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and I've got a picture of that, and I gave it to my dad on Father's Day, many years ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, here you go, Dad. I bet you never thought you'd have a son who'd be first in line at Indianapolis Motor Speedway here. But that was the coolest GP story.
I feel like I think I have a photo of that photo.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah. But no, but it's all. I guess my point is like I really wanted a baseline, like what is this thing that we all look at as
where have we come so far?
The epicenter of exactly, and so where does it lead? Well, it leads with then Mini announcing that they are going to produce this GP. The GP will be a front-wheel drive, 300 horsepower version of it. That's going to be fairly scarce. And it's probably going to be around, and I'm guessing here, probably just under $45,000.
I'm gonna tell you a story. It's gonna be below $45,000.
I think it will be too, but I don't think it's gonna be much.
It's gonna be in the range of $40,000 to $45,000.
Okay.
It's gonna be in that range.
Yeah. Well, let's put the numbers down. I mean, I was thinking it was gonna be like 43.9.
I think that's probably a pretty good target.
I have 2 customers right now that both have deposits on them.
Yeah.
If you talk to Mini, they're sold out. I mean, I don't believe that, but
don't tell me.
To Mini.
My name's on a list somewhere, but I'm not telling you where.
Uh-oh.
Well, and here's
I'm not going to tell
Chicago.
You. My name's on a list too. So
let me say this too. I don't know if Mini's going to do this like they did before. I have not heard, and it won't be until they announce. We hear that the GP3 is going to be introduced at the Frankfurt Motor Show first week of September this year. That's the plan. And that's what everybody's reporting all around. That's what's been, was guessed for a while. Now people are saying for sure it's going to show up at Frankfurt.
I was hoping it was going to be LA, but I think you're right.
So here's what happened when the GP2 came out was I got a letter from, kind letter from Mini that says, hey, since you were original GP owner, we're giving you first right of refusal to buy this car. Would you like to buy a GP2? If so, send us $5,000 and we will hold your space for it. Right. Now, granted, this was a full 10 months, maybe, I don't know, 8 months before it came out. And I'm like, I am not giving up $5,000 for that amount of time. I'll take my chances. And I didn't end up getting a GP2, but I'm curious whether they hold that and say all previous GP owners, 1 and 2, get the first right of
that was something that BMW and BMW did during that time frame, which was basically hold deposits for dealers and then sort of like spin that out to dealers. They haven't done that in a while.
Well, and I also hear this was another rumor that was floated, was that the GP will only be sold to people who are at least previous JCW owners. Until they're gone, they'll get the first right of refusal.
Yeah, well,
then JCW owners, and then the rest of the general public.
Yeah, I think that would be smart.
I think so too. It's repaying loyalty, which is something I have to say Mini has been sorely terrible at for the last 5 years.
What do you really think? Well, regardless, I think it's going to be amazing. I mean, this is a car that is visually like what we've always wanted a GP to be. I mean, it's physically different in almost every way.
I'm not sure I like
power to back it up.
I'm not sure I like the looks of the janky
DB.
stuff.
Are you writing that down?
Writing what down, Gabe?
What Todd just said.
When I said I don't like the looks of this car, so I'm not going to buy it.
No, Todd's going to get a GP. Just stop.
I just want to write that down. I'm going to actually hold on here. I'm going to mail it to myself. What's a stamp now?
Hold on. My favorite.
I'm going to mail it to myself, and I'm going to keep it sealed.
Yeah.
I'm going to note it, and we're going to open it up the day he buys a GP.
F all you guys right now.
No. No, you're gonna buy a GP, dude. Just
Because DP's not taking that bet.
no, I'm not gonna take that bet. Come on, dude.
Well, I remember,
Stupid.
when the original GP concept came out, it was released. How much, and Gabe, and I think his quote directly was, "I loathe 4-spoke wheels."
I do. I still do. I still do. I do. And I mean, the irony is, like, if I bought an R53 GP, I'd keep those wheels on. Like, it's period correct. You can't take them off.
Exactly.
So, Gabe, if you loathe 4-spoke wheels so much, what do you think about the Mini E? Oh, look at that, huh?
That's an amazing segue, DB. It's, you know what? It's times like these that I'm reminded of how professional you are.
Thank you. I've been doing this for a while, almost 16 years, in case you're wondering.
How long?
So I think they're ridiculous. I mean, Mini has had this like strong, crazy desire to mimic Gregario, the old Italian design firm that was really prevalent in the 70s and 80s, mimic like their most outlandish concepts. And this is one of them. And I've never understood why they're so focused on doing this geometric wheel pattern. It's been around since Gert was there, since, I don't know, for like 10 years now.
Right.
Well, yeah,
They finally produced it. And it looks like, I don't know, like eventually I'll look at it and be like, wow, it's really interesting and different, and I like it because of that. But I'd have a hard time opting for that wheel.
OZ did a retro throwback to that now, and I've got I know a guy who put him on his Mini, and it looks kind of ridiculous. It looks like you put a meat slicing grinder wheel on your wheel. Like you're gonna go slice some ham.
Yeah. I mean,
right.
maybe that's
I like
true.
ham.
I will. Well, truer words have never been spoken.
Gabe, I know we don't get you very long. I want to talk about I do want to talk about the Mini Cooper E. And honestly, it towing a Boeing 777, that's not that big of a deal. So we can skip past that altogether, because I think I could do that. I could have did that in my R50. So what do we know about the Mini Cooper E? Is it going to be cool? Is it going to be awesome? When's it going to come out? Talk to us. What do you got?
Well, so all right, here's what's going to happen. This is going to be 181 horsepower, as Mini calls it, hot hatch. It's going to have, it's going to have a same engine that's in the BMW i3S.
Okay.
It's going to have roughly, and this is my guesstimate here, 120 miles of range, conservative. That's where like people immediately basically flip the desk. But I think that's what you're going to get.
Okay.
It's a car that's going to cost, drum roll, I believe about $29,000.
Base price.
It's going to be it's going to be better equipped than most base Minis though.
Okay.
So I think you're going to be able to walk off the lot with a base, electric Mini without feeling like you're missing a ton of stuff.
Okay.
So that's going to be publicly shown July 9th.
Oh, that's right on the corner.
It will be, or I should say internet shown. It will be revealed publicly, quote, air quotes here, in Frankfurt and then in LA.
Okay.
And it will be delivered to its first customers in November in England.
Okay.
If you're in America, you will be able to order the car in a couple months and receive it in early January, maybe extremely late December.
Wow. Okay. All right. And if you're looking at an electric car, this is the best looking one on the market right now, and at least available in the United States. You'd be dumb not to buy this one, I think.
I agree, and I think here's the thing: people are like, "Oh my god, 120 mile range, that's insane." Well, it's a $29,000 car.
It's not a
with
50.
A 70.
Go ahead, Gabe.
With a $7,500 tax credit.
Right.
Until the end. Until the end of this year. That's the thing.
Well,
right. They might not get it in the States.
Or it may get extended. I mean, who knows? But I mean, I think if you can transact.
Here's the problem: is that's a misnomer, and I'll say this because I looked into it. Also, it's a $7,500 tax credit, which means if you don't owe taxes at the end of the year, you're not getting dick because it comes off of what you owe.
Right.
Like if you owe money, you're not going to get credit. Now, you could, I think,
if you've got a good accountant, you're fine.
Yeah, you can roll it into next
You're
year.
fine.
Figure out a way to do those kind of
Get
things.
a good accountant,
and especially if you have a business, you can probably do it.
Yeah, make a business.
Yeah, this
Like
isn't
$50.
now, Gabe. This isn't
Anyway.
this isn't a car to compete with the likes of like a Tesla with its big, huge range, 350-mile range, and all the things. This is literally
Right.
like a car. It's like I need a car to drive back and forth to work. My daily commute is roughly 40 miles a day, and that's the car I need. I drive like 40, maybe 50 miles a day. This is a car I need. So that's the car. That's the market they're shooting for, not for somebody who's trying to drive from LA to Vegas twice a week.
Exactly, and I think here's the thing: the $35,000 Model 3 has got what 200 mile range,
200 mile, I think.
Ish.
Yeah, right in there.
So it's going to be $5-6 grand more. It's not like there's a crazy disparity. I think the Nissan Leaf is the one that kind of like f's things up a little bit.
A little bit.
And the Bolt, actually, the Bolt more than anything.
Right.
But
you're
getting a very different car with this versus the Bolt. I mean, from a drive perspective, that's the other thing. I've talked to people off the record who've driven this car, and to a person, they've all said, "Wait until you drive it. It feels." I mean, and they're like, "Oh, I hate to say this. It feels better than any other Mini on an autocross course because it's 50-50 weight distribution. Everything is down low.
I still have the problem that's
fast, so quick.
That's the problem with regular Minis is that people just don't go drive them. They just don't take the opportunity to drive it. They'd be selling better if they did. And so my question is, how is the Mini E going to succeed where the Chevy Volt and Bolt failed?
Well, I think it's well, and the Bolt, the reality is consumer sentiment is I think it's a curve, and we know it's a curve. We don't know where we are on the curve. That's the problem. So the Volt and the Volt failed because it was just ahead of its time, and it was a sedan. I mean, more than anything, it was a sedan.
Right.
But it was slightly ahead of its time, and it's like, okay, well, we're going to learn those lessons and write off the losses. The Bolt is kind of failed, but they're going to make that thing in the next 10 years, so eventually they'll be profitable.
Yeah, base price is $36,600 on a Bolt.
Yeah, so what Mini has done is they've invested as little as possible, and it sounds like, wow, that sucks. No, it's actually kind of smart. What they did is they used their knowledge with the i3, and they really were crafty about where they put batteries and the engine they put in, and they maximized the efficiency of it. And they realized early on, this is the story I've been told kind of off the record. Should I say it?
Yeah.
Nobody listens to this funny show.
Well, so basically, they realized early on that this car was not going to be about efficiency. It was not going to be about a big range. It was not going to be about quick charge, although the charges were quicker than people might expect. And so they really reoriented it from an engineering perspective to create a car that is fun to drive. And they believe that this is going to be the first truly fun to drive. And I kind of question that a little bit because I think the Teslas the sedans at least are fun to drive.
Yep.
But they believe it's going to be the first fun to drive electric car. And specifically, it's the first hot hatch. And I think they may be onto something because I think that's something that we haven't seen before. So if you think about it that way, I am driving 50 miles a day, or not even 20 miles a day, or 30 miles a day.
Right.
And I just want to have fun. I want to enjoy my commute. I don't want some soul-sucking Prius or Bolt or whatever. And oh wait, there's this Mini, and I can lease this thing, and here's a tax credit, and like, okay, well, maybe it's like $2-3 grand more than this other thing I could buy, but it's so much more fun and interesting to drive. And suddenly you've got a car that's really pretty compelling.
Well, if they can get it to start at 29, that's going to be 7,000 less than a Bolt, right?
That's the rumor.
And 7,000 is 100 miles. That's the extra range you get in a Bolt. The Bolt, you get 240 range miles is what they claim on a full charge, and that's perfect environmental conditions. That doesn't count winter, summer, blah blah blah. But still, so you want more range, you got to pay. Range costs money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's true.
So, and it says that it's honestly, this is the best looking electric car. Honestly, it really is. Good grief.
Yeah, I agree.
The Bolt's,
I agree.
The Bolt's not horrible, but it could be better. It's way too angular because GM's been making cars with chisels lately, which I don't really understand that whole concept. And the Nissan Leaf is the only one out there you can get, and it's just atrocious. Oh, it's horrible.
Well, so it's going to be 6 months before we find out.
Yeah, exactly. So, Gabe, how come you haven't had a chance to drive this? I mean, I know you have a new condo in Palm Springs now with how much time you spend down there. How come you haven't had a chance to drive this car yet?
Only a handful of European auto journalists were invited to a airport for a 20-minute drive.
Got it.
About a month ago. I will have a chance soon.
Okay.
Well, a couple of small notes. Your eyes are not deceiving you. It has been raised several millimeters, so it's taller.
Right.
And it has very subtle fender flares.
And by taller, Gabe means more ridiculous looking.
Well,
just put 20-inch wheels on it, right?
It's an electric car.
Well,
It's probably got 4-inch white tires, right?
It does. It does need 19-inch wheels, and I'm sorry, but it does.
Yeah, I am seeing those little bit of flares there, and it does have some gap, but it has all the extra weight of the batteries down low, so it's got to have that extra ride height to accommodate
and
for the batteries.
And it's going to have a sweet all digital gauge.
Sure.
It's going to be cool.
Well, so can I say, and not to disparage the whole move towards electric, because I do think eventually that's where we're going, but to disparage what Mini's done here is they're trying to make an enthusiast car that we've had for many years. The Mini's, traditionally been a car for enthusiasts. Mm-hmm. They ruined the brand when they tried to make it every man's car once again in 2014, and tried.
Oh my God, Todd! You won't let it go.
I'm not gonna let it go. I'm saying it like it is. Look at sales.
They ruined the brand.
I got the numbers to back my shit up here.
Yeah.
I don't think those numbers have much to do with it. But
they ruined the brand.
Go on.
Let me talk. It's been an enthusiast brand for a long time. And so they're slicing up this market once again of saying, granted, of all car buyers out there, only a small percentage of them are going to buy electric within the next 1 to 3 years. And of that, even smaller percentage are thinking Mini is, something, they're not going after the brand loyal people, I would think, at this point. I don't get it. I'm saddened, but
if the 2014 F56 would have looked like had the front end. Oh my
God, you guys
had the front end of the new electric Mini, then it would have sold a lot better.
Maybe.
I think it would have. Because this one's got the front 3/4 profile of an R50.
I don't think it matters. I think you're looking way too hard at stuff.
I know it matters. Gabe, I talk to people. Every day that will never own an F56 because the way it looks. These are dyed-in-the-wool hardcore Mini Cooper owners have owned 2000 R50s, R53, R56s. Huge
amount of them.
No, Gabe, it's a huge number of people that won't own the F56 because it's so ugly.
Chad, do you have any interest in buying an F56?
And not because of looks, but it is a much better quality car.
Higher quality car, so much better.
But I think I agree with DB with what people are saying, but I think as a company, it lost a certain amount of respect for their customers, and the customers, regardless of what that car looked like, if that car could have looked like a big old pile of emoji poo. If they would have been doing everything that they could have for their customers, people still would have bought it. And there's a certain amount of they bailed on the N14 cars, and they were like, "Sorry, that's what it is." And then people were like, "Nah, here's your black eye. Give it to the internet." And then the internet just like sucked them up and done. You're gone.
I think that's part of it. I think that's a big part of it.
I'm amazed at how many angry Mini owners are still out there.
Oh,
people who haven't owned a Mini in 10 years are angry. Still to this day. Because Mini has killed the brand they loved.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
All right. I gotta run. I think Mini has killed the brand is a pretty crazy statement. I'll just say that.
I'm going to say right now, before you leave, Gabe, I'm going to say that because they don't have plans to make a 300 horsepower JCW hardtop, that will be the final nail in the coffin of the brand.
But they do. It's called a GP.
I know, but I'm not buying it. I'm sorry. I mean, not literally.
All right, hold on. Is a 33-cent stamp current?
I think so, Gabe. I think
No.
so. Yeah.
Okay,
No, it's not.
I'm mailing this to myself.
Like 60.
I'm sealing it, and I wrote the quote down.
Mail it to yourself in 2006.
What's a stamp?
He's
Gabe, thanks so much
he
for
said it again.
Gabe. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. It's always a joy to have you. I hope we get to hear from you again, Mr. Gabe Bridger. Everybody from MotoringFile.com. Subscribe over there and read all the Mini Cooper news and stop posting links to those other sites because it just gives Gabe a twitch.
I don't even know what other sites there are, but the only thing I have to say is if you're going to comment, don't do it on that like privacy evading
Facebook
invading.
Yeah, don't do it there.
platform.
Please stop leaving comments on Facebook.
Don't do those things. Many doesn't read it. They read comments on MotoringFile. I'm not just saying that to get you on MotoringFile. They actually do.
They actually read the comments on
Harsh comments there.
MotoringFile, and they can't be bothered with the Facebook comments. Go
And
over
they,
to
just so you know, and I know
the
this, they
website,
print
please.
them out and they
Yeah.
put them up.
Yeah, they actually do. For reals. Like in the break room and stuff. To
All right,
shame
my dad-
to shame themselves.
I have to get my JCW Countryman off the charger, the electric charger. And I gotta get rolling here. Wait. No, that's not.
That's
I
a-
feel
they
like
don't
I made
have
a
it.
mistake.
Gabe, that's not
They
a
don't have
charger. That's a battery
Automatic
tender.
charger?
It's only a year old
All
and
right.
the battery's already dead.
I'm using my anchor portable charger on the. Is that not what you use for a?
No.
All right.
No, it's big, but it's not big
All
enough,
right.
Gabe. Nice try.
All right.
Gabe, we'll see you later. Thank you,
Ladies and
sir.
gentlemen, thank you so much.
Cheers,
Okay.
man.
Cheers.
All right, bye.
That's
Sorry
actually
about that.
that's actually been pretty good, but boy, man, he is just wow. Just yikes.
Yeah.
The
I'm with
Kool-Aid is strong with that one.
Kool-Aid is very strong with that one. How can you not know? I'm not kidding. I talk to so many people. Todd, I know you do. Chad, I know you do.
I
that
give
just
customers
won't
bad news daily.
that won't buy an F56 based solely on the way it looks.
Well, and here's the thing: is the three of us live in a real world where people spend their own money. Are we still recording?
Yeah,
Are
we're
we
still
doing-
recording. Yeah, we're still recording.
We live in a real world where people spend their own hard-earned money on
Correct.
cars, and I'm on Mini number 8.
Right.
You know, all on my own dime. This whole thing has been on my own dime. And Chad, what you said, I want to reiterate this again, is I've thought about this many times over the last 5 years. Is that I feel Mini has betrayed its most loyal customers, and they
Yep.
did it starting in 2014
Mhm.
when they changed the brand and they went all I'm using air quotes here,
Premium.
and I'm using air quotes with the emphasis on my middle fingers. If you guys
Yeah.
could see right now, that's all you really see. I'm using air quotes, but I'm using the finger.
Right.
When they went premium
Right.
with the brand, and I really think they stopped supporting the community. And I'll say that too. They stopped.
Todd, I know exactly what you're saying, and I understand. I don't think they did it out of malice, or they did it intentionally.
yeah,
I think
I think it's
it was the BMWification of Mini, right? Someone said, "Oh, this driving around the streets of San Francisco and then spraying inside of your car with a shaked up soda—that's just too silly for us." Or
Right.
the real edgy ads out of Canada. Oh, that's just too edgy for us. We really got to get back to our just BMW roots.
Well,
right?
they flat out had bean counters tell them that people
Yeah.
think we've done our market research and the people think this car is frivolous and too silly. So we need to be more serious and premium and upscale. And I mean, the square-toed shoe wearing
Eating
Well,
sandwiches with a knife and fork, eating
right
guys.
got their hands on the brand, and excuse my French, they shit on all of us
Yeah.
who loyal customers for from 2002 to 2014, even the people who hung with them through the crappy build quality of the R56 generation.
Yeah. I mean, again, I don't think they did it intentionally. I don't think it was out of malice.
No.
That's just
I
the way,
think
and that's just the way the business. That was the direction they decided to take the business in, and the downfall of that is it pissed off everybody in the United States who'd ever owned a Mini Cooper up to that day. Prior.
Well, I mean, we've talked about this before
We
with
have.
how people go from one job to another and they bring in Mini people to the BMW side and the BMW to the Mini side and stuff. I just think that they didn't really have a direction of where they wanted to go for so long.
Yeah.
And that's what, inadvertently alienated a lot of people.
Yep.
But we've talked about how there was no leadership within the hierarchy, and there were a bunch of people doing their jobs, but they didn't really know what they were doing their jobs because there was nobody making an actual decision like Jim was doing back in the days, going, no, we want to do this, do that, and then that person would do it.
But even to play devil's advocate a little bit, and DB, you're right, is they didn't do it intentionally, Mouse. It wasn't like we hate these people, we're not going to do anything. I think they said, listen, as a company, we're not going to survive as a niche company in a niche market. We need to continue this growth curve, because you look at the growth curve in sales of minis from 2002 through 2013. Its best-selling year ever. It was continuing this upward trajectory. Yep. Just a line going straight up. And what they said was, we can't lose this. We have to make this car more palatable to people other than these quirky folk who have been buying this car.
These Converse wearing, Apple Watch and Apple phone using people.
Right. Exactly. We have to make it more, and I use the word, and it's probably not even the proper word, but dumbing down the car to make it more mass friendly.
Yes.
Because it's a niche market. It doesn't appeal to everybody. And there's absolute truth, because all of us here had minis back in the early 2000s.
Yes.
And I'm sure we all had relatives and friends who were like, ugh, that car's just not for me. Right?
Yeah.
They just kind of look at it and go, I'm glad you like it, but I would never, no, it's not for me. And that's absolute true. But I think a lot of people loved it and fell in love with so much about this brand. The things Gabe was saying about the 2006 GP, how it was just so perfect, but horrible at the same time.
Right.
But you still loved it.
Yeah.
Okay. And now they've everything from market research to like, oh, let's move the window switches to the door and let's take the center speed up here.
It was horrible.
People say this is too quirky and all that. And I get used to these things because I still remained a loyal fan and owner. I kept buying these cars because I'm like, you know what? I'm in this. I'm in for a penny. I'm in for a pound. I'm going with it. See where it's going. But I have to say, I was not kidding you guys that if they don't do a 300 horsepower, if they don't bring that down to the hardtop JCW, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not going to buy a Countryman. I'm not going to buy a Clubman. I like the fastest car in the line.
Yeah.
I'm gonna seriously move to a Jaguar or something else because it's taken that long. It's taken 17 years. But man, it's like I don't have it in me anymore. I don't. Don't get me wrong. I freaking love my 2019 JCW.
Oh yeah,
I love
this car. That's why.
I love this car. It's fun to drive. It puts a smile on my face every day.
Yep.
But to know that there's a Countryman and a Clubman that will eat my car's lunch makes me ill, and I lose sleep at night. I'm just saying that right now. It really does. To go, some jackwagon mom, soccer mom, grocery store shopping idiot putting on her makeup, looking at an iPhone, who has no freaking clue of what a JCW is going to be driving down the street in a JCW Countryman, and I'm just hitting my head against the window, going, what the what? Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
That's just how I feel.
Okay. All right. We'd be interested in what you guys feel about this. Let's open things up. Go over to whiteroofradio.com. Do not, I'm going to repeat this, do not go to the Facebook page. Please
go collect $200.
Go to whiteroofradio.com. I'm going to put a link to the show notes in your podcast app. Okay? Go over, click through, and leave a comment there. Or leave a comment if you're listening on MotoringFile.com. Leave a comment there. Okay? You can put a comment on the Twitter. Okay? You got to put it someplace if we're going to actually, if you want to complain about something, you want people to see it, you got to go to where they're looking. And in this particular case, they're looking at comments on Motoring File, looking at comments on White Roof Radio. They're probably going to see it on Twitter too, but let's be safe. Leave your comments at whiteroofradio.com. Leave your comments at motoringfile.com. I'll make sure links are in the show notes in your podcast app.
And hey, guess what? I can say also that Mini, they want my opinion because on my new car, I got the JD Power survey. I just got a follow-up.
Really?
They're like, we want more information from you.
Wow.
So evidently I said enough on my original JD.
So what do you get for that? Because you get $1 for the initial JD Power. So does that mean that you get like a Starbucks coffee or something?
I
For
get
a follow-up?
I think I get a poke in the eye at the end.
Oh, that's not cool.
Yeah, no, it's just it was an email follow-up. I have not gone and answered the question, with more, but they said, we want to know more from you here. We've sent a follow-up to some of the things you said in your original JD Power.
Oh.
So I'm interested because I was pretty elaborate over the things that I've been saying, the things I said on this show tonight, the things that I've said in the past. I think Mini's kind of missed the boat. And by no fault of them, hey, Mini's a company. They need to make money, and they made decisions at the time in the past. And hindsight is 2020.
Yep.
We've all done it. Chad, you've had a business. I've had a business. We've made business decisions to do something, and then you realize sometimes it's too late that you made a mistake. I don't think it's too late for Mini, but I think, like Gabe said, they're all scratching their heads going, what the heck are we going to do?
Yeah.
And I don't think Mini's the only company.
Oh, yeah.
That I think all car companies right now are like, what the what?
Right. Yeah, I mean, but we don't know what to do because going back to the way things were, that's not going to work either because that'll scare away people 10 years older than us, right? They're going to go, oh, I don't know what this, I don't want this much fun in a car. I'm an old guy. I want something that it's sensible and I can just drive back and forth to work. And it's like, okay, Grandpa, go buy a Camry. But if you want something a little bit more fun, get a Mini. I don't know. I don't think I've got an answer to any answers to any of their questions, but all I know is what I hear from people.
I know. I think the rich people, the rich old people who want to have, fun and be able to puff their chest out saying, I've got a fast car and it's fun, but I'm comfortable, are the ones buying the X5Ms, the X6Ms, and maybe even a JCW Countryman. Sure. Because old, they're retired, they're like, screw it, I've got money, and look, I've got 300 horsepower under the hood, and I can kick anybody's ass, Right. Some little jag-off in his Scion TC or whatever who thinks he's badass. I just ate his lunch from stoplight to stoplight, and he will. There's no question about it. Right. But, I'm like, I'm not there yet. I don't feel that old yet.
No, I'm not either. And honestly, the price of new cars is keeping me out of that business anyway.
And DB, that's a whole nother topic.
That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother show. But and I posted this on Twitter, and a lot of you guys saw this. But in case you're wondering, quick back of the napkin math that Todd and I did back at beginning of May is the average price of a new car in the United States is up 40% to 2003. Median salary has not increased at that rate. In case anybody's curious, quite a bit less. So if anybody's actually looking at new car sales and going, how come nobody's buying my new cars? It's because nobody can afford the damn things.
And guess what? Right now, as of 2019, here's another thing that's compounding the issue, is that the average rate people are paying for new cars.
That's the other thing, yeah.
6% this year.
Yep.
This year. Yep. I mean, I remember many years where I was getting 0.9% financing for 60.
Yeah. Right. I remember those days.
That's gone. And so it makes it doubly hard when you go, I really want this $40,000 JCW, but there's no way in hell I'm going to afford it because the payment's going to be $700 a month.
Right.
That's
on like an 8-year term or something ridiculous.
Some people are paying that in rent,
Right. If they're lucky and they don't live in California.
If they're lucky.
Oh boy, heavens. That would be a really good time for me to actually tell you guys about the other fine sponsor here underneath the white roof, our friends over at Motoring.com. Click over there. You haven't been in a while. I know you haven't. Motoring season's still upon us. You need to get your car looking sharp for Cars and Coffee for the summer, for all the events that are coming up that you're going to want to go to. Click over to outmotoring.com to get everything taken care of. Not only that, motoring rewards so you can earn cash while you shop. Aaron's going to make sure you get the right parts for your car because he can tell you which model you've got. So when you go in and you see all the R's and F's and whatevers, he's going to say, oh, you have this car and it's an F56 or it's an R53 or it's an R56. It's an R55. He's going to get you sorted out. He's going to support your mini club. If you have a mini club and you're looking for raffle prizes, that kind of thing, you want to go bug Aaron at outmotoring.com. He will hook you up. It might be tchotchkes out of the prize closet, or it could be a $100 gift certificate. It all depends on your needs. Right? All you have to do is go, hey, Aaron, help us out with our thing. And he'll say, okay, cool, here you go. Done and done. Free shipping on a lot of stuff, 100% happiness guarantee, and a hitch for your Mini so you can pull trailers and things. Right? All that over at outmotoring.com. Don't forget, too, all the personal gear, shoes, shirts, hats, watches, all that stuff, Aaron's got it. Your DIYers, oil change stuff, tune-up stuff, a body panel replacement, interior parts like the little fiddly clips and hooks and those other little plastic bits. Yeah, Aaron sells those by the bag. He's like your parts house in the cloud for all mini things. Go over there, check it all out. And go fast stuff too. Don't forget, Aaron will hook you up on anything you need to make your mini go faster, look cooler, and maybe be more comfortable. Not to mention, glove box organizer, which adds 10 horsepower every time, and it's documented. Just saying. I had one in my R50. Put it in, 10 horsepower gain increase. I put it on the dyno. I got the sheet to show it. I think I have the sheet to show it. It's probably pretty yellow by now, but I think I still have it. Anyway, motoring.com. Go and click over there. Check it out. Get something cool for your Mini, for yourself, anything like that, please. And all you have to do, once again, when you're there, don't forget, sign up for the newsletter. There's a big box right there underneath the newsletter sign up. And you can sign up, get the newsletter. Newsletter's nice. He barely sends it out. Really, he's not like you're going to get spam like you get like 14 emails a day from Amazon, right? You don't get that. Aaron sends like an email a month, maybe. And when he does, it's usually going to have your 5% discount code. So that's pretty rad, right? Right. Go over, check it out. Motoring.com. Mini performance, speed, and license plate frames. Yeah, get rid of that lame dealer plate. Ugh. Go to motoring.com. Does anybody have anything else, gentlemen?
Yes, I have a secret.
Todd has another secret. We've had a lot of secrets this week.
Oh my God,
Todd, what is that white crap all over that picture of your car?
Soap. Foam.
Oh, okay. What's your secret?
My secret is that for White Roof Radio listeners, and you can share this with whoever you want, everything at motoringbadges.com and motoringstripes.com is on sale for the summer.
Oh, nice.
20% off if you use the code SUMMER.
Sweet.
That's never happened. This is unprecedented. So if you like the
good thing I just ordered some stripes.
Yeah.
But Chad, did you use the coupon code of summer?
Well, I mean, I texted him in the chat room, so I figured he'd just know.
He's good. Chad's good. Chad gets the volume discount.
Motoringbadges.com, gang. You heard Todd there. Go to motoringbadges.com. Order anything. Use the coupon code of summer. You're going to save 20% all summer. I'll make sure this is all going to be in the show notes. I just put it in our Slack channel too, so I wouldn't forget. That'll be in the show notes as well, so you guys don't forget that. Yeah. Go ahead.
And as a man who has ordered many a thing from Todd, the quality surpasses none. Like, it is top quality stuff. You will install it once and be done, and it will last for years. So there's a little bit of plug for the Todd man.
Yeah. And don't forget the best motoringbadges.com, motoring stripes, whichever way. Until you type in one, you're going to go to both. Doesn't matter. The best hack, my favorite hack for the motoringbadges.com website is you use the contact form and you tell Todd what year Mini you have, what color roof you have, and you order the sunroof delete kit. And he's going to charge you $100 and he's going to send it to you, and you put it on and it's going to make your air conditioning work. It's awesome.
And here's the beauty is that's coming to the new products page.
Oh, you're actually going to put it on the page?
Yeah.
You've been saying you're going to put that on the page though for like 100 years.
Well, now I just did a couple of them because I'm just like, I'm tired of answering questions and doing that. I'm just like, all right, it's getting old. It's like,
honestly, just I don't know why it's not on the website. Just put it on the website, for crying out loud.
Hey, I'm bitter towards many stuff right now. I'm working on Scions and Ford trucks at this point.
Didn't you do a Kia Soul recently?
Yeah, I worked on a Kia. I've done 2 Fiats in the last month,
dude. None of them were the 500 XLs though, right?
I feel like I'm no.
Okay, then you're right.
I mean, I feel like I'm whoring myself out, but you know what? I got to make a living, and you're the same way. You got people come in with other stuff. You're working on Audis. You're doing
we're working on some high end stuff. We had an Audi RS5 in today for an exhaust system. I mean, and the exhaust system alone was $3,500, and I mean, it sounded awesome. I mean, everything about it was top quality, and we're as we expand. I mean, we can't keep enough time for our Mini customers alone, but we have a good reputation around Detroit, and as with particular parts like Miltech, that is a great European exhaust, and there's nobody importing it into the U.S. but we are on their website, so people find us, and this is how we get some good work like that. So It's keeping us busy, and we're full every single day. I mean, we're cranking out 3-4 cars a day per tech, and we're
That's
booked
awesome.
a week or 2 weeks out now. So
That's awesome. Well, yeah, I've been driving around in my car, which I wrapped a few months ago, and now it's got my company logos on the side of it and everything. And I got to say, the amount of business that's come my way in the last 30 days has been mind blowing. And it's not many. It's not mini business. It's it's coming from everywhere, and it's got to be, because I'll tell you right now, not to be depressing, but mini sales for June are going to be worse than May. May
Right.
national down 30%. It's going to be worse in June. I'm preparing people right now, and I didn't get to tell Gabe, but it's bad.
Yeah.
It's getting worse, and I don't see the electric isn't going to be here for 6 months.
Yep.
The JCW Countryman and Clubman, nobody's going to buy it.
There's a huge lull in their stuff right now. I mean,
Yeah. I'm not lying. I think the electric mini is going to do some big thing to sales, kind of rejuvenate things a bit. Because it's a good looking car.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's a nice looking mini, and I think it's going to sell. Those wheels are a little bit ridiculous, and they're going to turn some people off. But they're just going to go over to Tire Rack, or they're going to go over to Discount Tire and swap wheels for something that they like anyway. So it's not going to matter.
Props to Mini for doing something quirky again.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? I may not like him personally, but I haven't seen him in person, and I'm like, you know what? Props for stepping out there and trying something risky. And I think it's going to be successful, like you said. I think people are going to go, you know what? This is kind of a cool car. The one thing I don't like is those freaking mirror caps. What the hell?
I don't like the mirror caps. And I wonder if Google's going to give them any grief for putting the Google logo on the gas cap. It looks like a Google logo looked at in a mirror, because it's that power switch icon, but it's kind of turned sideways. And you look at it, and if you imagine you're looking at it through a mirror, it looks like the Google logo. So it's interesting. That's just me. My brain's weird, so don't worry, don't mind me. Those mirrors look like they came out of the GM design center, though. Like they were made with a chisel. I don't know. Anyway, I hope it helps.
Yeah. I hope something helps, because right now nobody knows what. My dealer's down to 2 people. They're literally, my entire dealer there are 2 people who work there, a sales manager and 1 salesperson.
Yikes.
We used to have 2 sales managers and 5 salespeople, and now we're down to 1 sales manager and 1.
Yeah, I think. Did we talk about this have we talked since last time I had my car actually at the dealer for service?
I don't think so.
And I pulled up, and I was the only car on the service drive.
Really?
Now, granted, this is a Penske, and they have a giant campus over there, right? So they have all the cars get worked on at one main garage type of thing. But you go to the BMW side, and they've got 3 lanes all open up. All of them, the cars are all filled. All the lanes are filled up. People getting service or warranty work or whatever. I've got a 7:30 appointment to get my Mini fixed. It was what was it? It was the oil filter something, because it was overheating and I had the coolant leaks, right? So I had that all taken care of. So I'm at the dealer at like 7:30, 7:45. I'm the only car there for service.
Well, I got to say, our service department it's still remained pretty busy. I mean, people are still bringing their cars.
We talked about that, because that was the day that the guy said that the Cooper had a turbo, or Cooper didn't have a turbo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we talked about that. It was the last show. Anyway, so yeah, it's crazy. Just
we need to do
crazy
these.
balls.
We need to do these more frequently.
Yeah, we're gonna try to do this more frequently. We're gonna talk about that here right now. In fact, we got a lot of things going on. Of course, you guys know I just bought a house. Chad's in the process of trying to sell his house and buy another house. And Todd's just been busy keeping his house standing up, because he keeps getting hit with tornadoes and hailstorms. So we're off to a very interesting year underneath the white roof. And honestly, we just having a lot to talk about. And Todd just wants to complain about sales, and nobody wants to hear that. So. And Gabe, just as Chad said, the Kool-Aid is strong with him.
I know,
and it's a little tiring. Let's be honest.
Y'all be angry if you're making half the amount of money you did a year ago.
Yeah,
and
I'm not, and that's hard, and I get that. So, so making a show makes it rough for us to get a show, but we're going to try to do our best to keep going with these. I want to make sure you guys stay subscribed. If we say something cool, something that you like, I want you to do this. All the podcast app now support these new cool sharing features. You guys should try doing that and share the podcast with people that are like-minded with you. It's like, oh, these guys are either full of crap or this is an awesome program. We would love if you would share our stuff. That would just be amazing. If you don't want to join the Patreon page, I don't care. Share our stuff to your friends. That would be so awesome.
And
that's why I post the shows on Facebook, is so you guys can share them. Nobody ever does. You guys just leave comments over there, which annoys me because I hate Facebook. But you guys can't stop using it, and that's fine. But share the show at least. Put it in your club page or something.
I know we're preaching to the choir here, but I'd want everybody to try. Just go, whatever. Summon your device person, whether it's Siri or
you can say Dingus. Dingus is a good word. Hey, Dingus.
Say, ahoy, device.
Ahoy, Dingus.
I want to listen to White Roof Radio and see what happens.
That works everywhere, by the way.
It does. It works everywhere.
Another update on that, for those of you who happen to use the radio.com app, you will find White Roof Radio and Ride Bikes Radio in there now. So another handy spot. Both shows, by the way, Ride Bikes Radio and White Roof Radio, you can summon them by saying, good evening, Dingus. Please play an episode of White Roof Radio or Ride Bikes Radio. Plays every time. Not the way I like on the Amazon device, but I'm getting there. Anyway, that's all I got. Do you guys have anything else? Chad, Detroit Tune, DetroitTune.com, anything? Besides working
good.
On Audis.
We are just cranking them out right now.
Cranking out the Audis.
And the minis. More minis than Audis.
Minis and Audis.
Right? Exactly.
Nice.
Lots of Germans.
Go over to DetroitTune.com. On the front page, you're going to see a picture of Chad's hot girlfriend and then other cool things, especially the spare tire bag. Are those still custom made with love from Mom, Chad?
Made by Mom every single time.
See, this is what you need. So you're gonna go to Detroit Tune because your car has run flats and you just want to have a spare tire, and that's totally okay. We get that. So you're gonna go to Detroit Tune. Chad's gonna sell you one. Done. And then Chad's gonna also want you to buy the cover, and the covers are made with love. By hand, by Chad's mom, right there in the shop. And it keeps the tire contained so it doesn't touch other things and get its tire-y yick all over it. It's super awesome, and it's well worth $65 that is with. That's over at DetroitTune.com. And besides that, if you're 5 hours from Chad, he's your shop anyway. He's doing all the things. He's going to make your Mini go faster, make it look cooler because he's going to drop it on the ground, slam it, put airbags on it, and then put in a booming system. Then Marshall's going to come in, and he's going to coat it so it spits flames. So when you're at Cars and Coffee, dude, you'll have all the girls.
It's true.
This is true. We are not lying. Or if you're at the racetrack, you're just going to lap all the cars. Just saying. That's over at Detroit Tune, DetroitTune.com. Go check them out, please. That would be really nice. And you can see Chad's Mini. Chad's Mini's hot. Chad, your Mini's on bags, isn't it?
One of them, yeah.
Yeah, not the race.
One's on bags, one's on coilovers, yeah.
Yeah. If you want to see what bag in your Mini looks like, go check out Chad's Mini. It's pretty rad. Just saying. And if you just want coilovers like the race car, then look at that too. And then go, Chad, hook me up. Done. DetroitTune.com. Anyway, that's all I got. I don't have anything else. You guys have anything else?
No, I'm good.
All right. If you are still listening to this, thank you for sticking around. Thanks for staying subscribed. Please share. That would be amazing. We would love that. But until next time, gang, this is the part of the show where I do like to make that funny clicking sound, and then I say, questions, comments, or concerns, go ahead, click back over to whiteroofradio.com. There you can leave us a note in the show notes. You can also email us, feedback@whiteroofradio.com. Until next time, gang, this is DB. I'm done.
Cheers.
See ya.